Our project was to investigate the damage tolerance of hierarchical thin film membrane structures on expandable structures such as solar sails and sun shields. It's important to NASA because in the future they like to use expandable structures. These expandable structures are very large in size and they're made of very thin film membrane materials. However, these materials are so thin that they're susceptible to micrometeoroid damage and orbital debris, which may result in mission loss. If we need something to stop the damage from growing, if any damage does occur, they will make the large thin membranes more robust and more reliable. We looked to nature to give us some inspiration for our design. We looked at insect wings, bird feathers, and leaves. We got some inspiration based on those, and we then pursued a hierarchical membrane approach to prevent the riptops from growing, and we used 2D digital print manufacturing techniques to actually print these complex geometries on thin film materials. We started out simple. We did elliptical shape reinforcements, and we did hexagonal shape and reinforcements, and then we kind of went to a soccer ball shape. One thing we learned on the 2D print manufacturing process, we work with the technicians in the fabrication lab, and we use different techniques to bond the reinforcements onto the thin membranes. We use different materials. One of the limitations of the machine that we used, called a fused deposition modeling machine, was we had to use a polycarbonate to bond the reinforcements on, and we found that they bond best to the same material as this reinforcement. On the other materials, such as Kapton, Mylar, and CP1, which are space qualified materials, the reinforcement did not bond very well. We did these tests on the specimens with the initial tear in them, and we pulled on them and watched the tear grow, and we were hoping that the tear would turn and localize in these reinforced regions, but they did not. The ripstops did increase the damage tolerance of the thin film membranes, and they had a higher load carrying capability before the tear began to grow rapidly.